Australian made and owned, Hi-Tech Oils is one of the largest oil blenders in Australia with a truly national profile, supplying an extensive range of oils, coolant, grease, batteries and much more for all businesses and consumer needs. Choose Hi-Tech Oils for peace of mind.
On today's show, we head over to the UK for a double dose of the 2018 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. First up, we head to Silverstone in Northamptonshire for rounds 25 to 27. And then it's down to the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit for the final 3 rounds of the 2018 season. This is Speedweek.
It's the penultimate round of the British Touring Car Championship, but before we go out on circuit at Silverstone, here's a reminder of what happened last time at a very wet Knockhill.
It's another wet and rainy day for the touring cars as they start race 1 at Knockhill, with Dan Camish leading away from pole position. Stephen Jelly has a good stab at getting by him, Andrew Jordan on the far side. But Camish holds his nerve, holds his line, and he holds the lead as well. And Dan Lloyd on the grass proves just how wet and tricky it is today. Tries to get that turn, but he can't. And how do they miss him? We're on board with Tom Ingram behind the Honda of Chris Smiley, and now it's his turn to make a bid for position. And there it is up the inside. Makes that one stick. Turkington and Sutton together, and the Subaru gets by into second spot, but Turkington really didn't resist that too much. And now further race lead. Sutton, who goes past Camish, does he? He's got track position, and through he goes. Stephen Jelly a bit sideways there. Turkington and Camish side by side, but the BMW's got the run there, and the top 3 places are pretty much settled. While behind them it's all very nose to tail and door handle to door handle. And at the flag it's Ash Sutton and Subaru, with Turkington second over the line and Dan Camish in 3rd place. And then Sutton and Turkington across the front row. And the Scooby's going to be hard to beat off the line. He gets away ahead of the BMW. Andrew Jordan's 3rd, Dan Camish 4th, and then the usual train of cars behind as Ollie Jackson goes off in the background there. And he wasn't alone, searching for a way past. Jordan having a go up front, and Josh Cook piling down the inside of Turkington. And that leaves the door wide open for Camish as well. And that's Sam Smelt, another one who couldn't stop or turn in this much wet. And moving the barrier means waving the red flag. Race 3 then, the grid reversal puts Chilton on pole, and the track is laughably slightly drier than it was. Camish trying to make a run on the way to turn 1, but it's Morgan 2nd, Turkington 3rd, Camish back in 4th. And Matt Simpson curb hopping past Senna Proctor, but doesn't make it. And look at this, he gets turned round here by Jack Goff. Butcher going for a move on Josh Cook and gets past him. Matt Neal there from Ash Sutton. That's Aidan Moffat inspecting the gravel trap, comes out ahead of them in front of Sutton, and Brett Smith just walloped the rear of Senna Proctor's Astra there. Job well done for Sutton, but here is someone we may have forgotten about. Poleman Tom Chilton on his way to the flag in P1 with Turkington and Jordan behind. There's the flag, and here are the points. And Ash Sutton and Tom Ingram were both disqualified from race 2 for a technical infringement. So while Turkington cements his lead with another consistent weekend, the gap to 2nd and 3rd is bigger than it might have been heading to Silverstone.
It's round 25 of the British Touring Car Championship from Silverstone. It is go. Good start by Jordan. What about Collard? Has he been able to get the whole shot on the inside? He hasn't. Tordoff moves across, defence. Collard goes to the outside line as they dive into Copse corner for the first time. Way out wide goes Ricky Collard. Where does he get back into the pack? It's going to be 3 wide, is it? Not quite. There's contactors there. Aidan Moffat gets squeezed onto the grass. It is Tordoff leading to Beckett's ahead of Chilton. Jordan goes up to 3rd. Jack Goff 4th, and Ricky Collard is down to 5th.
Yeah, that was a great start at the front. Ricky tried to go round the outside of Tordoff, but Tordoff just probably eased him out onto the exit road. And, well, Ricky was struggling to get back on and find a position. Look, he's lost several positions. I think he may have a puncture, or was that just a lock up on cold tyres? But certainly he's lost some positions.
Behind him is Matt Simpson, and behind Matt is everybody else. Moffat is in the mix, Morgan is there, Smith is there. Works, Oliphant's got tapped sideways. Turkington's up the inside. He's in jeopardy here. Ingram's on the outside line. He's got Sutton alongside him. They lean on each other. The Toyota is just ahead on the outside line at Woodcote. This is Stephen Jelly's view, and it's all going on ahead of him. Out of Woodcote, Ingram's on the outside line. He doesn't want to be there, particularly. Sutton's got the inside line for Copse. Will he break later? Yes, he will. He goes through. Jelly gets his nose at the inside. Sutton is sideways. Where's Ingram gone to? He was on the outside line. He's been forced way, way wide. Sutton's off the road as well. Ingram zaps back onto the circuit. Whew, wow, that was close.
Well, oh, and now Austin sideways coming back across the track, collects one of the Hondas. I think it was Matt Neal. That had shades of Rob Collard's accident last year, didn't it?
Absolutely right. Yes, they got away with that relatively lightly, but Matt Neal, wrong place, wrong time. Rob Austin slithering backwards across the grass. So down towards Brooklands. Lap 2, 22-lap race, unless we get any interruptions. And there is the damage to Matt Neal's Honda. It crab-like heads for the pit lane and retirement.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate, but it could have been so much worse. As Josh Cook has put it in the gravel trap, that might be a safety car. Marshals won't be able to push that out, even with the car helping. So that might be a safety car.
While all that's going on, Turkington stays 12th, but Ingram and Sutton benefit. They gain a couple of places. 18th and 19th they are now, but out of the points. Now, Tim is right. It could be a safety car. Let's see. It might be on standby. Ian Watson, the clerk of the course, will make a decision. Safety car deployed, because really that is going to need some help to get it out of the gravel. So yeah. Safety car deployed. All the gaps will close. And they are racing until they get to the boards. In the background, you saw Aidan Moffat still fighting, but we know that safety cars can breed safety cars, so this is going to make it very lively on the restart.
Yeah, very much so. So the hard work that Sam Tordoff has done in establishing that little gap, he's going to have to catch his breath. But it is Chilton, a teammate, so he knows Chilton's probably unlikely to rough him up, at least, as Matt Neal gets his car back to the pits. You're thinking, what on earth happened there?
Yes, indeed. And the safety car is going to be in this time, all being well. So Sam Tordoff leads the way. Quick recap of the race order. Tordoff, Chilton, Jordan, Goff, Collard, Simpson, Morgan, Moffat on the option tyre, remember. He's 8th. 9th is Brett Smith. Mike Bushell has made progress, 10th. Dan Camish, 11th. And Colin Turkington, who started 18th with that demon start, already up into the top 12. Ingram down in 18th, but of course he's on that harder, less favoured tyre, but he's ahead of Sutton, taking the pain in this first race. Right, so race extended because of the safety car. We will go racing this time, and Sam Tordoff has made a very good restart. Look at the gap he's pulled already.
Yeah, it was a great restart. Caught Tom Chilton napping. Tom will be kicking himself for that, because Sam has almost immediately got back the gap he had prior to the safety car.
So through they turn then. In now, it's 25-lap race through Copse corner. Is anybody going to dive there to try to gain a place? The answer is no, but it might come at Beckett's as you ride with Colin Turkington. His next target is Dan Camish, 75 kilos, chases 9 kilos. Turkington 12th, Camish just up the road ahead of him.
But Colin knows full well he'll have had a chat with the team whilst the safety car was going, and there was a little bit of peace and quiet to update the positions of his rivals, and he will have been told that Ingram and Sutton are well down the order and that he's already gained points on them. They're down in 18th and 19th place, so he doesn't need to push on anymore. He's already extending his points gap, which he said was his stated objective.
Great battle here. Aidan Moffat is ahead of Brett Smith, ahead of Mike Bushell, ahead of Dan Camish, ahead of Colin Turkington. So as Moffat goes wide, Smith gets up the inside, so does Bushell. 2 places lost for the Scotsman as he comes through Woodcote corner. Dan Camish now gets up the inside line. Colin Turkington next in the queue will be processing all of this and just deciding whether to go for a gap, whether to hang back and let it all pan out ahead of him. This is Sutton onto the back of Dan Lloyd. And the BTC Norlin Honda, winner at Croft, comes under attack from the flailing Subaru up the inside at Luffield as he go through.
This is back on board with Turkington. He's with Camish. Who have they just passed? Who was that on the outside?
Moffat. It was Moffat, so the harder tyred Mercedes losing places on the outside. Remember, those are the same tyres that Ingram is on, that harder compound, so that now puts Turkington into the top 10 from 18th on the grid.
A typical Turkington performance. He's using Camish as his battering ram at the moment to make the gaps that he follows through. It's all working out very nicely at the moment for him.
And Andrew Jordan is into the pit lane. So Jordan, who was running in third place, is down the pit road. What has happened? Having said pre-race, don't rule him out. This is a real blow for WSR, for Andrew Jordan. He's in the pit lane. It gives Turkington another place, of course, but it's bad news for the Team Pertec BMW entry.
Yeah, we just wait to see now just what Ricky Collard's pace is. Tyres nicely up to temperature and pressure now. The car in its sweet spot with no ballast on board. Can he extend that gap toward from Goff?
So toured off to Chilton. By the way, that lead gap's coming down. It was 9 tenths, it's down to 6. So it is creeping down. In third place, here it is. Collard from Goff, from Simpson, from Adam Morgan. Gap back. Mike Bushell is 7th. And Andrew Jordan is on his way back into the race. In 8th place, it's Brett Smith. Camish 9th and Turkington is 10th. Oliphant 11th. Moffat down to 12th. They had a Butcher. Cole. Sutton is 15th and he gets a point. Ingram is still only 17th.
Right, I need to watch the lap times and see if there's any tyre degradation going on at the moment. They're lapping only about 2-3 tenths off their fastest lap at the moment, so not much deterioration there. Collard, unsurprisingly, is continuing to set faster times as the car's in the sweet spot.
So lap 13, diving down towards Brooklands. There is Aidan Moffat with the harder tyre, losing its edge, and he's dropping back in the pack now because past him goes fellow countryman Rory Butcher. James Cole and Ash Sutton come up to have a go at him as well. It all concertinas into Luffield. On the back of Sutton is Lloyd, then there's Ingram. This is the view, very distinctive view from Ash Sutton's car as that bodywork, the little towing hook, flaps around in front of him. Next target, James Cole, winner in a Subaru when he was his teammate, of course, to Ash Sutton at Rockingham last year. Over the line they go. And the gap between the top two continues to come down. There they go out of Cops. Ash Sutton running in 15th, for which he will get 1 point, but Ingram is still 17th and out of the points.
Yeah, remember Louise talked to Ash on the grid and he said he'd changed the setup and he really didn't know what he was going to expect. Well, by now he knows what the car is capable of, what he's got underneath him. The driver adapts very quickly to a different setup, but it seems to be working, I would say, okay for him. At least he's racing the others. But look, he loses pace on the straights, gains it back on the brakes. That makes for desperate manoeuvres like that. Will he get across? He's going to have Cole still on the inside. He'll try and duck. Oh, he tried to duck back to the inside and just caught the back of Cole's car, which flicked him round. And now the bonnet on the car and some damage on the right front. That was trying to get the cutback underneath Cole to the inside, but didn't time it quite right. Now,
Andrew Jordan's pit stop was for a loss of power. Whether he pulled off at Beckett's with a continuation of that problem, I know not, but he's got the car back in the right direction. But Andrew Jordan's race effectively is over. This is a test session for race 2 now to see if they've traced the problem. So Sutton, after that contact, is up into 14th. Ingram is up into 16th. And there, look, bonnet up. Was that Jason Plato's car?
I think that was
back in the pack. So Plato's bonnet is open, and he will have to peel to one side. Yes, the Subaru parked on the outside of the road. Where that bonnet pin has disappeared to, where that contact came from, we didn't see. But Jason Plato's miserable season gets no better.
This is a replay. Now look, he knows Cole's on the inside. He knows Cole's going deep. And as he turns in, he just tags the back of the car as he tries. This is a better view. He's going to try and get the cutback. And he turns now. Yeah. Now, whether Cole was committed and going to run wide or he expected Cole to turn in, don't know.
Behind them, there was a little bit of contact between Bobby Thompson and Jason Plato. So that, I think, is what accounted for Jason's bodywork. It was just at the back of one of those replays that I caught a glimpse of it. So Jason out of the race, and Ash Sutton now comes up to have a go at Aidan Moffat, who is still the best of those on the harder tyre. But this is the fight for 13th place now. So Aidan with the harder tyre, losing pace, losing places.
Yeah, I guarantee you he's going to go around the outside, Ash Sutton, because he's so deep on the brakes. He can leave a bit of room on the inside, but that was always going to happen.
Tom Ingram is at the back of that little queue. Now, here are the leaders, and the gap is right down. So, Tordoff under attack from Chilton. Ballast-free Ford versus 33 kilos aboard Chilton's car. And yet Tom Winner at Knock Hill has brought the gap down. Third is Ricky Collard. Fourth is Goff. Simpson fifth ahead of Morgan. Then it's Bushell seventh. Smith is eighth. Up to ninth is Turkington. He's past Camish. 11th is Oliphant. 12th is Butcher. Sutton 13th ahead of Moffat. Lloyd. Ingram is 16th. Still out of the points as Turkington, and here in replay, gains points by passing Camish.
Yeah, Camish was on the attack himself, wasn't he? But not able to do anything. That was Brett Smith in front. Look, Camish comes back on the outside, but he's never going to have the line for the corner. Turkington taking the opportunity. Now, this is an interesting situation. Same team, different sponsors. So, although they mustn't take each other out, they're both entitled to race for the win.
Here is Turkington. He is still there in 9th place. Behind him, the order has settled a little for the moment, other than we've had a change for 15th and 16th places, because Lloyd has gone back ahead of Ingram. Ingram was briefly 15th, and Dan Lloyd has taken the place and the crucial point away.
Once again, Ingram is pointless in this race. But I have to say, it makes you wonder how fast Turkington's car is going to be when he gets rid of the weight. Absolutely. Of course, he's got the hard tyre to come as well, but ballast-free, that car is going to fly, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's evidence of that with Collard's pace. But
he's on the outside this time.
He's going to do it round the outside as well. Breaks late. Turkington goes through up into 8th spot. Runs a little bit wide out of Brooklands, but he's got it done. Brett Smith closing again under braking at Luffield, but now he's got Oliphant on his tail, so Brett Smith will have to defend, and Turkington should be away. Another place gained. More points for the tally.
Yeah, and Oliphant's got past Camish, and he's going to get past Smith as well. Camish will try and tuck in behind Oliphant and get across, but he's not really close enough, is he?
Down to Copps, through goes Oliphant. Dan Camish tries to follow suit as well. Brett Smith, mini champion, knows all about front-wheel drive saloon car racing and how to defend and how to attack, but as he goes wide, Rory Butcher in the MG look coming into the mix as well, and behind them is Ash Sutton in 13th place.
Yeah, Ash Sutton can see a few more places there for the grabs, can't he? Just as they get to the end of the race and the front-wheel drive cars have a little bit of drop-off on the front tyres, Ash can sense an opportunity to grab a few points.
Behind Ash Sutton, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. The leading cars on the harder tyre as their Butcher goes around the outside of Brett Smith. That's a good effort diving down towards Brooklands, and the MG on the outside line takes the place. So Rory Butcher now, having caught the pack, wriggling his way through. Really good effort, this. Camish then 10th, 11th is Butcher, and it's half a second between them. Now, the race leading gap was 4/10 at the start of this 23rd lap. Chilton is close, but he's running out of time.
Yeah, and he hasn't put a real concerted effort in, has he? He's not really nibbled the rear bumper or troubled them. I wonder if they have had some team orders that they're prepared to accept and just hold position and get that 1-2. They've got a plentiful gap over Collard, and it would be nice for the team to bring that home.
Replay of Ash Sutton here making his move against Brett Smith.
Yeah, out the Beckett's, rear-wheel drive favourite. Thank you very much. Front-wheel drive car lights up the front tyres as they wear out, and he understeers wide while the rear-wheel drive car turns and drives past.
Sutton versus Butcher here, look, and that's another place gain. So Ash Sutton goes 11th. That car also now progressing, but the leaders are on their last lap. Ash Sutton chipping his way up the order, so he has actually salvaged a reasonable result out of this. The one that's struggling, and I think he knew he was going to struggle with the weight and the tyre, is Ingram.
But they're all running the hard tyre in different races, separate races, so they've all got that pain to come.
Yeah, the only variable is that weight, isn't it? But for now, Sam Tordoff, who is ballast-free, is likely to cop 75 kilos for the next race if he hangs on to the lead and makes it a record-breaking 15th different winner of a British touring car season. He's got Tom Chilton right up behind him. Sam Tordoff then now makes his way through Luffield. Chilton crawling all over the back of him. He's not for giving up as they sprint now up towards the line. But a Motorbase Ford 1-2 is on the cards, and Sam Tordoff will be the 15th different winner of the 2018 British Touring Car Championship season. Sam Tordoff wins at Silverstone.
He'll be chuffed to bits. I think that will have lifted the mood in the West Surrey camp. And it's, you know, we were 6 races to go. Now we're 5 races to go. It chips away. Every race done is a step closer, and he's increased his points lead.
And the championship continues to break records. 15 different winners in a season. Round 25, won by Sam Tordoff, with teammate Tom Chilton behind. Ricky Collard, third ahead of Jack Goff, with Matt Simpson and Adam Morgan rounding out the top 6. Mike Bushell takes 7th ahead of Colin Turkington, with Tom Oliphant 9th, and Dan Camish completes the top 10.
We'll be right back with the next race at Silverstone after this. Welcome back to Silverstone, where the touring cars are on the grid.
So we've got a gap on the grid where Ash Sutton should have been. He is in for a very busy 22 laps, as he will have to work his way up from the very back of this one-by-one staggered grid formation that now has Sam Tordoff on pole position with 75 kilos of weight on board. The first time he's carried that amount all season. There's a nervous Rob Collard looking on. There'll be a nervous Ricky Collard on the grid. Ash Sutton is back with the team. Chris Smiley, therefore, is going to be the man at the rear of the grid, and we are good to go racing. Round 26 at Silverstone. The lights go red. Who is going to make the best start? All eyes on Ricky Collard, but again he bogs down a little. The Fords get away nicely. Here comes Turkington. He's ahead of Morgan already on the run down towards Cox. Sam Tordoff with all the weight leads the way ahead of Chilton. Then it's Collard. The Hondas are side by side for 4th. Goff on the inside of Simpson. Morgan a little bit wide in the background. Very wide Rory Butcher, and the cars head up towards Beckett's for the first time. This is Turkington's view, and he's in the mix.
Yeah, he's making great starts, isn't he? Not quite such a good start for Collard, but despite the family name being the same as the best starter in the business, Father Rob, but nevertheless a good start for Ricky.
So if you take Rob's start, so Ricky's qualifying, you've got the ideal. Down they come, nose to tail for the race lead. Chilton on the back of Tordoff in the lighter Ford. Goff on the outside of Simpson. They're side by side for 4th. Turkington is up the inside of Adam Morgan, trying to gain place. He's trying to keep out of trouble. Jack Goff to the curb on the inside of Matt Simpson. They wriggle their way through Luffield. All is good thus far. What progress is Ingram making? He's on the move. He's on the back of Brett Smith, but he's still behind Turkington, which is not where he has to be. Over the line, 1 lap in the book. Tordoff leads by 0.368 of a second. Turkington is 7th and Ingram is 12th.
But remember, Turkington's on that harder tyre. That isn't the preferred tyre, particularly on the BMW, which takes a little bit longer to warm its tyres up. And he isn't as quick. And as Morgan is making the progress round the outside of Goff on the grass and gets across his nose on the brakes and gets the car stopped.
Adam Morgan, with rallying in his background, used it to good effect there to save that. Job well done. We're running down the Wellington straight then now, on board with Turkington, but Tordoff leading the way. And who is going to be the next one to try to dart up the inside and gain a place? Adam Morgan then on his toes, but look at the way that Chilton now is crawling all over the back of Tordoff. Sam may have held him off at the end of race 1, but now on lap 2 of 22 in this second race of the day, gloves off. Ingram is up the inside there trying to get past Smith, so Tom Ingram is working his way forward. And Aidan Moffat now comes up to have a go at the Honda as well. Dan Lloyd goes through, another driver like Ingram who's got rid of that harder tyre. Aidan Moffat the same. He was on the hards in race 1. He's going nicely now in race 2. So another lap in the book. 3 down and into Cops Corner. Now Chilton defending from Collard, but look at the line stacked up behind him. There is Moffat going through on the inside of Camish. Brett Smith and then Dan Lloyd next in the queue. Lloyd in the BTC Norlin Honda around the outside of the Eurotech car on the tail of the Team Dynamics Honda. And they power their way up towards Beckett's, with Adam Morgan now having done the fastest lap of the race. Ingram is 8th, and he is now 3/10 behind Turkington. No, he's not. He's alongside him, coming out of Beckett's, down towards Brooklands. Look for the BMW, look for the Toyota. Is it going to be Ingram ahead? He's on the outside line. Turkington is on the inside. Here comes Ingram, round the outside. This is going to be crucial. He will be ahead, and he will start to outscore Turkington. That is what he needs to do.
Yeah, well, Turkington's not silly. He just knows he's going to get a little bit quicker. He just needs to stay close to him. He's got 50-point lead. It doesn't matter at this stage.
So Ingram now trying to fight forward. Morgan up the inside of Collard. Here they come over the timing line. This now is the fight for 3rd place. Adam Morgan to the inside line. He's going for a podium. He goes through on the inside. Here comes Simpson as well. The Honda tries to dive bomb the BMW. The 2 Fords are getting away up front. Look at Ingram now making another attack. Simpson defends. He's alongside Goff. Cars ahead, cars to the left, cars to the right, diving into Beckett's now, and Ingram up the inside of Collard goes for another spot.
Yeah, and watch how Ingram pulls the car to the inside. He just turns that car so tightly. It's absolutely incredible how he can do that. We saw it at Rockingham, didn't we, how he could turn inside other cars when the car was free of ballast. And that's the crucial point.
So he's ahead of Simpson, which means he's up into 4th place now, coming down through Brooklands. Could Ingram win this race, ballast free, given the pace that he's got? Ingram has now done the fastest lap of 59.057. Here he comes alongside Morgan. No, not quite out of Copse Corner. Morgan comes up to attack Chilton.
But watch him come out. Look, he's set the car up to cut inside, takes a wide line in, times the run on the inside coming out. Could be 3 abreast here, and once again, he will probably get 2 cars in one. That's his first place, and he will just roll off the brakes into Brooklands and go around the outside.
3 wide on Wellington Straight. Ingram was 4th, he's 3rd, he's 2nd. Tom Ingram up into 2nd place. Chilton tries to fight back, there's contact. Ingram hangs on to it. Chilton's going to be in the back of him, oh so close here, coming up to Luffield. Morgan fights back. Morgan up the curb on the inside line, and Chilton goes from 2nd to 4th in 2 corners.
Great move by Morgan. That was really good. Opportunist move. These are the 2 best places to overtake. Beckett's and Luffield, and Morgan was on that very quickly when he saw Ingram coming through.
That's James Cole, damage in race 1, and he's had dramas up at the same place, up at Luffield in race 2, but he's still going.
Yep. This is on board with Stephen Jelly. Plato in front. There's the incident with Cole getting turned around in front. Nothing he could do about that. Jelly trying to get the place off. And he doesn't get it.
More shuffling of the order because Moffat's now coming up to have a go at Turkington. This is Matt Neal's view. Andrew Jordan is pushing ahead. That is Ollie Jackson's Audi that goes a place down. Here comes Matt Neal, 19th at the start of the lap, round the outside of Ollie Jackson. There's a bit of a rub between them. Oh no, you don't, says Ollie. And he tries to elbow his way back up the inside. Matt Neal off the road into the side of Jackson, who's sideways. Matt's coming through.
Yep. He's been watching the Steve Soper video, hasn't he?
So have a lot of them, I think. Now he's on the outside line against Josh Cook. Here are the leaders. Toured off to Ingram, 8/10s, another fastest lap of the race for Ingram. 75 kilos versus no weight at all. Morgan is 3rd, then it's Chilton, Simpson, Collard. Turkington is still 8th, despite the efforts of Moffat, who is here, right on his tail. Moffat flashing the lights, trying to find a way by. Turkington's not going to crack under pressure. Moffat almost arrives in the back of the car. Turkington goes wide. Was that an assist?
That was definitely an assist, but you know, Turkington had no option but to open the steering and go wide round the corner. But never mind that, Ingram's making hay while the sun shines and piling onto the pressure to the back of Tordoff.
OK, so Moffat has gone past, but so has Camish, and Lloyd tries to get through. So one moment like that suddenly pushes Turkington down the order as Ingram starts to get himself into a race lead challenging position, and this should turn out to be a win, barring dramas. Now let's look at Moffat on Turkington.
Moffat into the back there. Turkington runs wide, and through goes Moffat and Camish in one go.
Here are the race leaders. We're on lap 10 of 22. Tordoff just ahead of Ingram, who does his usual wide-in, tight-out approach. This is the lap on which he should be able to slingshot up the inside. Tordoff goes wide. Here comes Ingram. Does he get the drive off the corner? He should do. He'll be on the outside line for Brooklands. Side by side for the race lead. Round 26 of the championship. Ingram gets his nose in front as they dive down towards Brooklands. Has he done it? He's on the outside line. Tom Ingram goes round the outside of Tordoff. He gives him racing room. He's got the inside line for Luffield. Ingram leads.
Yeah, well, he's making this championship go as far as he possibly can. You can't do any better than drive to the front of the field, as we've seen Tom do so many times this year.
14th he started, he now leads the race. Ash Sutton won the Dunlop Forever Forward Award in race 1, 14 places gained. Anything he can do, so can Ingram. So he now leads at the end of 10 laps. This is Matt Neal's view. He is now 18th on the back of Rory Butcher.
And then, well, Matt Neal started the back. Butcher gets a big slide on there, controls it, and this will be an easy place gain for Matt Neal.
Tordoff is 2nd, and he's 1.2 seconds clear of Morgan. Collard now is 4th, but only just because he and Chilton were side by side over the line. Here comes Goff up the inside of Chilton. Elbows out, Jack Goff goes through. Chilton is wide. That's going to give Simpson a chance to challenge, and Moffat and Lloyd. And look in the next little group. Turkington is under attack from Oliphant for what is now 11th place. He's dropping. And that's Lloyd in strife. He's in the gravel as well. So the leading gap, Ingram to Tordoff, is 1.6 seconds. And there, look, Adam Morgan is right on the tail of the Ford.
Yeah, trying to do what Tom Ingram does go in wide, force the other cars to defend and just get the run and the power down earlier. Morgan's car not quite as good as Ingram's though, so he's going to have to do it on the brakes into Brooklands.
Down they come. Morgan in the wheel tracks. Is he going to be able to dive to the inside or the outside? Let's see. There's a gap on the outside. But Sam Tordoff knows how to defend in the touring car. Runner-up in the championship 2 seasons back. Morgan up the curb on the inside line as they come through Brooklands. Now to Luffield. Is there an advantage to be gained on the inside? Yes, there is. Is there a Mercedes-shaped hole? Just about. Side by side, they come off the corner. Morgan's got the inside line for Woodgate. He's got a lighter car. He's up the curb and he's got the place, has he?
Yes, he has. I mean, at Luffield, the quickest line is actually to clip the first apex, go half a car wide, and then clip the second apex coming out. But of course, the moment you put half a car wide of the curb on the inside, it's filled by a BTCC car with half a car on the track and half on the grass. But it's a good way of passing. So you absolutely have to hug the... Oh, Jelly off, and that's at Copse.
Big slide, big spin. Stephen Jelly off the road into the gravel. Is that going to be a safety car, or can that be covered with localised yellow flags? We will see. Now, Turkington is fighting back. He's back up into 8th. He was 11th a couple of laps ago, but now he's got himself back into 8th. Yes, he's being outscored by Ingram, but this result could have been a whole lot worse. As now Camish comes to the inside of Oliphant. Carrera Cup GB revisited between these two. Oliphant on the outside of the Honda there. Look as they dive their way out of Brooklands.
Well, they were together in qualifying, they were together in the first race, and now they're together in the second.
And ahead of all of this is Turkington, so if this looks a bit leery, doesn't matter to him, he's away and gone.
Yellow flags out for Jelly's car in the gravel, not a safety car, just a local yellow.
And that waved yellow flag means no overtaking, so everybody has to bail out of that move, and now they can carry on at the next green flag. And that Stephen Jelly out of the car. Now, whether he fell or whether he was pushed, we will try to find out. But sadly, yet again, the luckless Stephen Jelly is out of a race.
Poor guy has no luck at all, does he, poor old Stephen?
He's got a lot of bad luck. It's not much good luck, to be fair, but I know what you mean. And there the car is well and truly beached. And poor old Team Parker Racing, Stuart Parker's squad. Now, this is what happened.
Oh.
Brett Smith was behind.
Yeah. Brett Smith was very close behind, I would say. Yeah, look, Brett's looking down the inside. He's made a genuine lunge for it, but it's not close enough to get through.
Stephen Jelly, yet again, is the one that comes off worse. Into the gravel, out of the race. The leader has gone across the line now onto his last lap. Tom Ingram it is. He started 14th. He's heading for a third win of the season, seemingly, as he's wide out of Copse Corner there, but accelerates up towards Maggots. The 25 points for the win, plus the point for leading a lap, plus the point for the fastest lap, will all help.
Yeah, he didn't need to be pushing quite that hard through Copse, though, did he?
This is Tom Ingram.
Yeah, it gave the family in the garage a little bit of a nervous moment as they saw the car bouncing wide, teetering on the edge of adhesion there. But I think Tom's enjoying himself, isn't he?
Yes, because it's a rare chance to drive the car without the weight. Bounces over the curb through Brooklands, and so Tom Ingram, up from 14th on the grid, is heading for victory here at Silverstone. He comes out of Luffield, up towards the timing line, up towards the checkered flag, up towards a win, and to narrow that gap to championship leader Colin Turkington, Tom Ingram wins round 26 of the championship. He comes across the line to the delight of the family, to the delight of Speedweek in the garage. Morgan is second. Now, what about third? Tordoff and Collard were together as they came across the line, but Sam Tordoff hung on by 98 thousandths of a second. Tordoff third ahead of Collard, Matt Simpson fifth from Goff, Moffat. Turkington is eighth ahead of Austin, and then Proctor to round out the top 10. A great drive by Ingram, and some other excellent drives all the way up and down the field, really. Matt Simpson running nicely up near the front, and Ash Sutton, after the pit lane start, 27th in a car that clearly was not 100%.
No.
Round 26 of the British Touring Car Championship falls to Tom Ingram. Adam Morgan home second ahead of Sam Tordoff, with Ricky Collard fourth from Matt Simpson and then Jack Goff. Aidan Moffat seventh ahead of Colin Turkington. Rob Austin ninth, and the top 10 completed by Senna Proctor.
One more race to come at Silverstone, so join us after the break. Welcome back to Silverstone and the final reverse grid race of the day.
Aidan Moffat starts on pole position. The Scotsman in the Laser Tools Racing Mercedes now concentrates on the lights. The flag has been shown at the back to say that everybody is where they need to be. The drivers look towards the lighting gantry, the lights go red. Who is going to make the best start as we go racing? Good start by Moffat, good start by Collard, who tries to get up alongside Jack Goff. Turkington is away nicely on the inside. He's already ahead of Morgan. I think he's going to be ahead of Ingram as well. They're alongside each other, diving into copse, but Moffat takes over the race lead. Rob Austin goes out wide, and look, Turkington and Ingram leaning on each other coming out of copse. This is crucial. Ingram wants to stay ahead, but he's in the middle of the three as they come up towards Beckett, and Turkington has to slot in behind him as they brake hard for the right-hander.
Well, perfect start for Aidan Moffat, but it was Ingram that was the most aggressive. He was in the middle of that battle. He's now got Austin on his left. The weights, look how the weight is hurting him down the straight. Remember how quick that car was in the last race without the weight. Now look at it with the weight in. It's a different kettle of fish.
15 kilos on Rob Austin's Alfa Romeo. He's up the inside of Ingram. He's way up the curb, and this is Turkington. Just waiting to see what develops as Rob Austin tries the outside line, looking for a maiden win in the Alfa Romeo Giulietta. But look at the way that Aidan Moffat has checked out already. Look at the gap. Simpson is second. Third is Goff. Fourth is Collard. Fifth, it is Tornoff as they run through Woodcote. But Aidan Moffat at the end of lap one leads by 11 tenths already. Simpson busy defending from Goff. He's gained off his grid position, turning into Copse corner. Collard fourth, and it's Tornoff in fifth. Ingram is sixth, Austin seventh. Turkington is eighth. He's had two eighth place finishes already today. Ninth is Morgan, who's dropped back off the grid, and 10th is Proctor.
And the reason that little group are pushing so hard is that Ingram, Austin and Turkington are all on the prime tyre, the faster tyre.
So they should be able to make progress, even allowing for the weight as Jack Goff comes up alongside former teammate Matt Simpson. Matt Simpson is on the inside line. Collard under attack from Tornoff now as well as they run along Wellington Straight, down towards the braking zone for Brooklands. Simpson fends off the challenge of Jack Goff, and now Ingram comes up to attack. Collard wide goes Simpson, he's back on the road. Tornoff is on the outside line, up the inside goes Collard. Tom Ingram tries to find a gap as well as they wriggle their way through Luffield. So Aidan Moffat away and gone, Jack Goff up to second. Here's the fight for third. It's Simpson versus Collard versus Ingram. Despite the weight, the better tyre is helping him up the order.
Yeah, and the call will be going out to West Surrey Racing. Don't let Ingram through, but try and help your teammate Turkington.
But right now, Collard is off the road because he's attacking and being attacked. But Simpson runs wide, Collard runs wide, and Ingram's going to get two of them in one move here. He's on the inside line, he goes ahead of Collard, he's up the inside of Simpson, and through he goes. So Tom Ingram gets a fair chunk of the traffic now between himself and Turkington. Simpson runs wide and kicks up the dirt.
And here's Turkington, he's pulled a couple of places up the inside as well. He's seeing Ingram make hay. I thought that car would be fast, even with 75 kilos on. But the better tyre, the prime tyre, the faster tyre is more important than the weight as Tornoff roughs up Turkington a little bit and cuts across the front of him. That's put Turkington back a place.
And he's also now being attacked by Chilton, who's got Morgan behind him, and then behind him there is Josh Cook and Senna Proctor and everybody else in a long, long line as they pour through Woodcote. Moffat leads the way by a second and a half now, but Jack Goff behind him has done a quicker lap. Yellow flags in sector one. They dive through Copse corner now. So where is Ingram? He's third. Where is Turkington? He's seventh, and that's Matt Simpson, who dropped back a little while ago, and he's still fighting, still pushing. Look at the start again.
Yeah, watch Aidan Moffat on your right. Jumps away. Slow start from Goff.
Well, Jack Goff crept, didn't he, over his line and then stopped.
OK.
So is that an out-of-position start? Is that a false start?
Well, you've alerted them now.
Thanks. Yes, apologies, Jack. Well, we'll see. But he crept and then stopped, so he was slightly over his marker on the grid. Interesting. In the meantime, Moffat leading. It was a great getaway, as you say, by Aidan Moffat. A second and a half to the good he was. Goff is actually bringing the gap down, and Tom Ingram had done the fastest lap of the race, but now Turkington has done the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, first clear lap, and Turkington's on it as we expect. Don't forget, this is the fastest that car's been all weekend in race trim, because in the first race, he had the 75 kilos. In the second race, he had the hard tyre. Now he's finally freed of both. He should be really flying, Turkington.
And he knows how to win championships. He's a double British touring car champion. Now there, Chilton is ahead of Tornoff, and Jack Goff is, we understand, being given a drive-through penalty for a false start. He was slightly out of position, so there he is. That's going to give Ingram another place. It's going to give Turkington another place as well. Now that message has not yet come up onto the timing screen, but the team will be aware on the radio channel from race control to the teams. and Aidan Moffat leads the way as Rob Austin tries to get up the inside of Ricky Collard, and Colin Turkington is right there behind. Now Ricky Collard needs to let Colin by, doesn't he really, and let him gain a few more points out of this. The drive-through penalty for Jack Goff is now being notified to everybody, and Rob Austin goes through on the inside of Ricky Collard, and here comes Colin Turkington to gain one more place as well.
Yeah, Ricky drives off the circuit to let his teammate pass, and in doing so nearly lets Chilton through as well. Yeah, Goff will get that penalty. Ingram actually the fastest lap on the last lap. So despite that extra 75 kilos, he is still a very rapid car. 3/10 slower in fairness than he went before. There's Smiley's car being recovered, but Ingram is fast.
So there, Chris Smiley out of the race, sadly, as Collard now battles with Tom Chilton, and Josh Cook is behind. Coming up then to the end of lap number 6, and Jack Goff is in the pit lane for the drive-through this time. So again, the order shuffles, and it means that Aidan Moffat will lead from Tom Ingram by quite some margin now. So through goes Moffat. Ingram is second, the gap 1.4 seconds. Rob Austin is up to third. Turkington will go fourth, and fifth will be Chilton. Now let's have another look at Jack Goff. Watch the black and yellow Honda. It goes, then it stops, but he was just over the white line, so that is an out of position, a false start.
You're absolutely right, David. I was watching Moffat, and because he stopped and then went again, it exaggerated the good start that Moffat made, but you're absolutely right, he was bang to rights there.
So Jack Goff will drop way down the order. He needs a safety car to bring him into the mix, and that's Ollie Pidgley, who's had a big moment coming out of Luffield and into Woodcote. You don't often find cars getting into that gravel bed, but he's well stuck. Could that be a safety car? Chilton has done the fastest lap of the race, incidentally. Moffat to Ingram, that gap's coming down 8/10, and this is Matt Neal with Camish and Oliphant and Morgan all up the road ahead. But the lead gap coming down, fascinatingly. Here is Camish round the outside of Oliphant. They've raced together in Porsches, they're racing together in touring cars, and Dan Camp goes through.
Yeah, as I said earlier, they've been locked together every single session this weekend. And Neal goes through as well, gap nicely opened up.
Safety car deployed, so the gap, which was coming down anyway between Moffat and Ingram, will be much reduced. Safety car on track now.
So we've got a situation where they're going to close up together, and Moffat is going to try like anything to defend from Ingram because he wants a race win, and Austin wants a podium, so he's going to defend like anything from Turkington. But Chilton has been the fastest man the last few laps, setting fastest laps, and he's going to be right on Turkington's tail.
So Tom Chilton, who is ballast free and on the soft tyre, is a real dark horse in this. Winner at Knock Hill, and fire extinguisher needed on Ollie Pidgley's cars, though there might be a brake fire. Safety car on track, 10 laps now completed. Race distance will be extended with the safety car on the circuit. So just time to take stock. Aidan Moffat leads round 27, ahead of Tom Ingram in second place and Rob Austin third. Fourth is Colin Turkington, and fifth is Tom Chilton.
Oh, yeah.
So contact possibly from behind, and then contact into the barrier. That's Rory Butcher into the pit lane in the AMD MG, with lots of sticky tape being applied. So he's been in contact somewhere, car taped up, and also there Josh Cagill in the sister car. We talked early on about Ash Sutton up into 17th place. He's knocking on the door of the points. This is some of his earlier activity getting up through the field. Tom Ingram defends from Rob Austin then, as Aidan Moffat really pushes the car almost sideways through Brooklands, but he's trying to steal a march over Tom Ingram. Austin third, Turkington is fourth as they come now through Luffield and accelerate towards the timing line. What has Moffat done by way of a gap, and what can Tom Ingram do to bring it down again as they sprint over the timing line? Rob Austin hangs on to third, Turkington behind him in fourth place, but now the BMW pulls out, has a look and slots back in again. It's only half a second between the Mercedes and the Toyota as we go racing.
Yeah, good restart. Everybody flat out now through turn one. No worries about rear tyre temperatures. They're all up to temperature. Biggest problem when it go around behind the safety car is actually picking up discarded rubber on the rear tyres and getting pickup on them.
Now, all of a sudden, Colin Turkington's life is changing a little bit, isn't it? Not just attacking Rob Austin, but he's conscious of that yellow peril behind him. Tom Chilton is now right there, looking for a way past, looking for a place, and potentially about to take points away from the BMW driver as the leading quintet comes through Brooklands. But Ingram is all over Moffat now. He wants a race win, and he feels he might be able to get it despite the weight.
Yeah, good defence there from Aidan Moffat, not giving even an inch of room on the inside of Luffield, but we know where Ingram's strong. It's on the exit of Beckett's. He's got to bide his time, see if he can use that Toyota Avenza's fantastic turning ability. He won't have the straight line speed necessarily. Oh, Aidan Moffat a bit sideways there. So out of the next right-hander, the tight right-hander, will we see Ingram? Look, he's already setting up to sweep back across to the left, to then sweep back to the right, cutting under now to get to the inside. Can he do it?
So let's see what Josh Cook does now, and whether Colin Turkington is prepared to bail out of the fight or try and fend him off and score as many points as he can. He still can't get past the lighter Alfa Romeo. He pulls up to the inside and has a look, but Josh Cook charging along behind. Another good effort this by Josh Cook. And out of Copse Corner goes this leading group now, starting lap 19. Now, is this where Chilton picked up the damage? Let's see. On the outside of Turkington, there is Josh Cook. There's a little rub. Coming through.
Just there.
Yeah,
just there on the exit, a little touch.
Moffat still leads. At the start of this lap, it was 0.4 of a second. We're on lap 20 of 25. 6 laps to go now, down towards Brooklands. Ingram to the outside, Austin to the inside. Turkington just assessing what's going on ahead of him, where to put the car, closing up onto the tail of the Alfa once again. And Ingram virtually on the back now of Moffat's Mercedes. Turkington frustrated, and Josh Cook, in fairness to him, is not being overly aggressive. He's not influencing Turkington's chances, is he? As now the BMW does get up the inside of the Alfa Romeo, and Colin Turkington will go through, will he, on the inside line, down towards Copse. It's another place, they lean on each other. Rob Austin tries to brave it out on the outside line, but Turkington goes through. Rob Austin wide over the curb. Turkington wide. Is this Josh Cook's chance to challenge? He's alongside Rob Austin, heading up towards Beckett's. Josh Cook, 2 wheels on the dirt. He will get past the Alfa, I think, under braking. And is he going to be able to attack Turkington as his next mission coming out of the corner?
Yeah, it was a good move by Turkington. As always, patience rewarding him until he could get a good exit out of Luffield and just get that overlap.
So Moffat leads Ingram, but up to third now is Turkington, and that's going to mean Tom Ingram is going to be even more on his toes to try to get past Aidan Moffat. Has a little look on the outside line through Brooklands, but the danger is he's going to be reeled in by Turkington. If Colin gets past him, he'll be outscoring Ingram, and that's going to not help his championship hopes, not help Tom Ingram's championship hopes one iota going to Brands Hatch. So now Ingram either has to make the car as wide as is possible, and then a bit more, or get ahead of Moffat.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get ahead of Moffat, actually. Moffat's got this one covered with some really good driving, unless he makes a mistake. But we can see how fast Turkington's car is. He's gobbled up a little gap to, as Rob Austin runs wide, gobbled up the gap to Ingram. He's clearly got the fastest car. Bit of a dilemma now, though, because does he attack or does he just take that position? I mean, if he takes that position, there's not much in it points-wise, so it's risking a lot to risk getting around your main rival.
Especially with a 36-point advantage. Heading now down into Brooklands. We are on lap 22 out of 25. There are the 3 leaders. Aidan Moffat wants a win. The 2 behind want a title. And Josh Cook also wants some more points out of this race if he can. And there, Turkington onto the back of Ingram. Through Luffield they come. It's all heart-in-mouth stuff, this, for the teams for differing reasons.
Yeah, it's awful being a watcher if you're involved with one of the drivers. It really is, because, you know, we all know touring cars can fluctuate so quickly. The consequences of something going wrong in this little group are huge for each of the 2 drivers.
So through they turn. Ingram and Turkington don't often make mistakes. It was that rare moment from Colin Turkington at Knock Hill with Stephen Jelly. Tom Ingram and his dramas at Knock Hill with the ride height, and Turkington has a little look to the inside there just to remind Ingram, if it were needed, that he's still there. Josh Cook 4th, and Turkington gets a tighter line coming through Beckett. You can see how much they're cutting the corner there. The dust being kicked up lap after lap as they try and tighten the line as much as possible. Turkington's view down to Brooklands, lap 23.
He's good on the brakes because Ingram's got 75 kilos on. A bit more weight than him. Oh, into the back. Careful, you don't want to pick up a penalty. Remember last year that Ash Sutton picked up a penalty by hitting Turkington, we thought at the time unnecessarily, and trying to pull that one again up the inside.
And Chilton is back ahead of Cook coming off Luffield. So it is Moffat leading the way. Ingram is second, Turkington is third. Chilton is back up to fourth-ish because Cook is alongside him. And big drama at Luffield. Ollie Jackson and yes again, poor old Stephen Jelly. Now 2 laps to go. Yellow flags at Luffield. That's going to affect how they run down Wellington Straight as well. And there, Chilton up the inside of Rob Austin, and he goes through, and here comes Josh Cook to try to get past both of them. 3 wide round Beckett's you don't see very often. Austin is in the middle, Cook gets past him, here comes Chilton. And down Wellington Straight, who is it going to be with his nose in front as Turkington now pulls to the inside of Ingram for second place, but he can't do it. Look behind them, they're heading down towards Luffield in a moment where that incident was, and look, Matt Neal is right with them as well. So the battered cars, there's debris on the road, but have they managed to escape the scene of the crime? They have, so the road is clear pretty much. The yellows have gone in, and there it is Aidan Moffat that leads the way as they come through then now, about to start the last lap of the race with Josh Cook up alongside Rob Austin.
Well, they're side by side everywhere in this group, but at the front, Moffat is still holding that position.
Through they turn. Moffat leads the way. It has been some defence. And Josh Cook, again, elbows out, up alongside Rob Austin. But Rob doesn't give up a place without a fight, as you will witness here. Side by side towards Beckett's. Cook on the inside, Austin sideways on the outside. Look at Matt Neal getting into the mix as well. He could be 6th by the end of the lap. Tom Chilton is alongside him. Dan Camish is behind him. Andrew Jordan is 9th. Next in the queue, Turkington running out of options, so is Ingram against Moffat. Down they come towards Brooklands, and Turkington makes his move for second place up on the inside line. Can he go through? Can he get past Ingram with 2 corners to go? Ingram's on the inside for Luffield. Turkington to the outside line. He can't get through there, but as they swing through Luffield, Aidan Moffat is on target for a race win. Can Turkington get up alongside the Toyota? Not on the inside. Aidan Moffat is going to score his first victory of the season. It's our 16th different winner as he wins at Silverstone. Second is Ingram. Third is Turkington. Fourth is Cook. Then it's Austin 5th and Chilton 6th. Fabulous racing from the 2 going for the championship, and a brilliant defence by Aidan Moffat to take the win. Aidan Moffat it is who wins at Silverstone. Round 27 gives us our 16th different winner of the season, ahead of Tom Ingram and Colin Turkington 3rd. 4th, Josh Cook ahead of Rob Austin. Tom Chilton 6th ahead of Matt Neal in 7th, with Dan Camish, Andrew Jordan and Ricky Collard rounding out the top 10. And the celebrations underway. So Colin Turkington is now 34 points ahead of Tom Ingram, but Tom Chilton is now up to 3rd. Ash Sutton is 4th in the championship. Adam Morgan drops to 5th. Josh Cook is 6th. Andrew Jordan 7th ahead of Jack Goff in 8th. Matt Neal 9th, and Sam Tordoff rounding out the top 10. Fantastic effort for the Laser Tools driver. Very, very popular indeed, I'm sure. Another new winner this season.
There's more British touring car action after the break as we head over to Brands Hatch for the final 3 rounds of the 2018 season.